I'd like to think that I'm somewhat qualified to talk about tech stuff, though, who knows, maybe I'm not. My credentials, if I've been programming since I was a little kid, I own way too many technical devices. My lights are all on Wi-Fi, my light switches are all on Wi-Fi. I have probably 9 different computers, not just talking like microprocessor based stuff. It's somewhere in my apartment. And I have a Pebble watch somewhere, and I have an Android watch somewhere. But when it comes to social technology, I guess I'm a bit of a Luddite, because I still think that it's not okay to be on your phone when you're out with people. I feel really, occasionally it'll happen that I'll get a text message if there's some sort of work emergency or something. I remember, and I was just so kind of ashamed and apologetic. I say, I'm really sorry, I have to take this. Can you give me just 1 minute? I'll figure it out. And then if it was going to take more than 1 minute, then I would have said, I will be right back. I have to step away. Give me 5 minutes and I'll come back and get this fixed. That doesn't seem to be the case for most people now. And I know even, Alex mentioned that the idea of propriety kind of differs in work environments. I don't think that's the case. When I've gone to work meetings in person, because I work remotely a fair amount of the time, but when I go to work meetings in person, I go in and I'm usually the only person who hasn't brought a laptop. And not just brought a laptop, but has it open and is actively typing stuff during the meeting. Not just like typing stuff, but like clearly browsing, because you can see in people's faces, because the contrast of the light switches when they go between tabs. You can see they're clearly doing stuff that has nothing to do with the meeting, which is not my place to judge. I mean, it's just, I guess, a social norm now. For me, it bugs the heck out of me. So I think there's a big cultural shift in what is appropriate as far as the dominance of technology. I remember in college, I finally I had a friend who was a phone person, and I finally just asked, because this is kind of before text messaging was kind of the norm, and so people would still take phone calls. I saw this person, they'd be out to dinner with friends, and they someone would be talking to them, and then say, "Oh, hold on," and they'd take open the phone and they'd start having this conversation. And we were good enough friends that I was like, okay, I don't want you to feel like I'm being judgmental or obnoxious about this, but I have a legitimate question. Why is it, do you feel uncomfortable, answering the phone in front of people? Like, because to me it feels like I would be uncomfortable. It's just, well, someone was calling, it'd be rude for me not to answer. Which didn't answer my question, I guess. Because to me, it feels like it's more rude to ignore people who are physically there. All of which is to say that I don't get it. But I also recognize that I'm in the minority. So it's not my position to say this is wrong or impolite or whatever. It feels, I think, my feelings as far as propriety goes to my personal experience. If I would feel uncomfortable, sitting around on my phone while I'm supposed to be with other people. But whether or not it's polite or impolite, I think is a cultural thing that we all sort of decide together. And I think we've decided something that is contrary to what I'm necessarily comfortable with. As far as the Apple Watch goes, I've had this big long rant about technology for a long time. Kind of since the smartphones happened, because I feel like smartphones were a decline from flip phones, and the thing that I have a problem with the Apple. So for me, the value of a device. There was this time when we were all excited about how the internet was going to enable all of these people who had these great ideas but couldn't get past the gatekeepers, the publishers, and the producers and all of that stuff to get the material out there. That all of a sudden this was going to enable everybody to express things and allow everybody to have a voice. And it feels like the trend of technology is to focus primarily on content consumption rather than content production. I find that it's very difficult for me to type a message on a smartphone compared to a keypad, or even better, a full keyboard. And so I feel like, as far as a medium by which I can communicate with people and a medium by which I can express my own thoughts, the smartphone is less of a great device. And the thing that really stuns me about the Apple Watch is that the input is so poor, comparatively speaking, that its primary use case, and there are some apps that are trying to invite people to input. You look at things like Tinder. It's like, okay, well, you need to be able to swipe. That's your input. But the thing that really stuns me about the device is that it really is just notifications, which is all about device output, nothing about device input, which I think is weird. And I know that as someone who spends way too much time attached to devices, they're usually full laptops. I don't like that. I like if I were going to get another device, and I think I know that I've met other people who are the same way, that the other device that you get is one that has fewer notifications. That the reason people have a Kindle, I know my family was like this. My parents have made this comment, and a couple of friends have made this comment that they may have a tablet, but then they will also purchase a Kindle, and the only real benefit, it's a little easier on the eyes, but the only real benefit is that you can't get onto Facebook, you can't get email notifications, and you can't do these things. So I feel like the addition of a new device into your arsenal should almost meet those criteria. When you get a notification, I think there are two kinds. There are actionable and non-actionable, and a non-actionable notification is one where it's something like the weather's going to be cloudy, or such as a sports team won their game, and that's something that you read, you note it, and then you don't do anything about it. If you get a notification that's from your work, and they say some disasters happen, we need you to do a thing, you're not able to take action from your smartwatch to fix that, generally speaking. Or even if someone tweets at you, you get a notification, and if it's something that you need to take action about, then you need to pull out your phone, or you need to sit down at a device that is optimized for input to actually reply. Kind of voice recognition stuff aside, because I think it's really kind of hit or miss as to whether that works based on the environment that you're in. So I don't really understand the point of most notifications outside of an environment where you can take action regarding those notifications. And if it's if you just had a watch that said so and so tweeted you and needs a reply, and work emailed you and there's a problem, and so and so something happened with so and so, and all of these things that you do need to take action about, but you can't from that device, then all that it does is it doesn't prompt action from you. It just adds to that kind of stress level of things that you now need to keep in the back of your head. Is okay, I got to handle that at some point later. You're just sort of piling on a short to-do list of things, which I think is not fun. So as far as watches go, I don't get it. As far as tech and social politeness, I don't get it. I don't know, and it's embarrassing because I work for a company that relies heavily on social media. I work, and I work in software. I'm supposed to know about tech stuff, but the more and more I look around, the more out of touch I feel. So that's where I'm at, and I apologize if this has been long, but that's the thing with Vlogalogue. We kind of turn on the camera and then we say what comes to mind, and when I do that, I don't often pause. I just sort of ramble. So you are now the recipients of another long ramble. I'm interested to see what other people think, because I don't know. Maybe I'm not the only person who feels this way. But who knows? I'm pretty sure statistically I'm not the norm in thinking that greater access to notifications is not super fun for me. So bye.